Hey everybody, this is Alex from ninjateacher.com and I'm out here in Laos, in the capital city of Vientiane, where behind me you can see the Victory Gate, which it might seem a little bit familiar to you, and I was totally surprised when I saw it because it resembles the Arc de Triomphe in Paris. And the reason for that is Laos actually has a lot of French influence, which is one of the many interesting things about the country. So what I'm going to do in this video is talk about what it's like, what Laos is like as a country, the people, the places, what there's to do here. And then I'm going to go on to talking about the teaching scene and what you can expect from that, what kind of pay you can make, what you need in terms of documents, and how to find a job teaching here. So to crack into it, let's talk about the country itself. And it is a really, really interesting country. Just on the border of Thailand, Vietnam and Cambodia. It's tucked away in the middle, so it's not by the sea at all. And it's a very small country. There are only 6 million people in the country. This capital city, Vientiane, is only 750,000 people. So really not a huge country, but it is one of the most beautiful countries I've ever been to. Going up a little bit north from the capital, a few-hour bus ride, you get to Vang Vieng, which is a touristy kind of party town. But some of the experiences I had there, I will definitely never forget. Going tubing down this beautiful river. There's actually bars all the way along the river, so a lot of people kind of turn it into a massive party. You can go all the way down the river. Going out to the Blue Lagoon where you can jump off trees into the water, and just some of the most amazing sunsets behind the mountains that I've ever seen. Just so, so beautiful. Hands down one of the best landscapes ever. Just about to go into this cool cave, and it's pretty awesome. This is one of the most beautiful places I've been to, Vang Vieng in Laos, and let's go check out this cave, go exploring a little bit.
This cave goes like super far in that way.
Yeah.
There were like 10 of us. We went to the very far end and then we turned all the torches off.
That's so cool.
It was insane.
So that's one of the great things. The people themselves there's a mix between the locals and of course the French, because it was colonized by France in the 1600s, and there's a whole history of that, and there's a lot of French influence. So there are a lot of French people here still. So but mostly locals, and they're friendly, maybe not quite as open as Thai people, I'd say, a little bit more reserved, but overall I've really liked the people. They've been very nice and friendly. And then of course there is that French influence, which makes it such an interesting country, because I personally love the contrast between the very Asian culture and then the French side of things. So if you go up actually on top of this building and look over the city, it doesn't look like an Asian city because all the rooftops are of architecture from France, and of course the whole look and feel of it is different because of that. And you'll see little cafes everywhere, rooftop terraces, they sell baguettes, all these amazing French foods. So overall it's this really interesting mix, and the capital city here was not too impressive to me when I first arrived, but spending almost a week here now, I've really started to like it. It's grown on me a lot, and I could actually see myself, if I wanted to come live in a more relaxed, easygoing place, this would be an amazing country and city to come live in. So as for the teaching scene, because it is a small country, there isn't actually much of a scene. What you can do is get over here and look for jobs. Actually, most of the jobs are here in the capital. Unfortunately, because there's some beautiful, beautiful places out in rural areas where, just living there would be like living in paradise, basically. But most of the jobs are here in the capital, which is a cool city in itself, you know, very laid back, and you know, the French influence there, which I really like. But in terms of the actual jobs, the best way to find them would be to come over with your documents and just go around searching for them. They have listings in newspapers and magazines and stuff like that here, so you can see if there's any job listings for jobs around the area you arrive in. And the city itself is so small that you can actually just get a map, circle all the schools, and then go with your CV and hand them out, see if they need any teachers. As for the requirements for teaching English in Laos, well, it is a little bit more lax compared to countries like China and Korea and Japan. It's not as official that you need certain qualifications, but in general, if you have a degree and a TEFL course, you can get a job here. Some schools, I've heard, can hire you without a degree. I would say that you'd need a TEFL course then, and it would involve just being here, speaking to the school, making sure they like you, and in that case, then there are ways to go about like getting official work like that. Definitely easier with a degree, as in almost every country. So that kind of brings me to the topic of, can you get a job beforehand or not? Well, not really, no. In rare cases, maybe you'll find a job listed somewhere and be able to do that. But for the most part, just coming here is the way to do it. And that's very similar for a lot of countries here in Southeast Asia. You just want to come over and search for a job on the ground. And that way you're going to find a job, you can interview with the school, you can know what you're getting yourself into. Whereas finding a job online beforehand, there's a lot of problems that can come up because of that. And also, it's just kind of not really possible here in Laos because there aren't lots of recruiters, there's not a big scene like that. So you just kind of have to come figure it out. So what I'd recommend is actually bringing your documents, coming to Laos for a week or so. It's a cheap place to visit and live. And this is something you can do for a lot of the Southeast Asian countries if you're thinking of teaching here. Is just come over, check out the country. If you like it, stay. If not, there's options for teaching in Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam. So you can always go across and then find a job in one of those countries if you don't like it here. As for the pay and stuff, well, it is on the low end. It's not a country that you're going to come to save a lot of money, but you can live very comfortably on the pay. So from what I've seen, there are jobs ranging quite a bit, but typically you're looking at about $1,000 per month, which is definitely enough to live very comfortably here. You know, there may be jobs you can get up to maybe $1,500, maybe a little bit less than $1,000, but that's kind of the range of job salaries that you might get. And if you do get one of those, you're going to have a pretty good life here. You're going to be able to cover living costs, you know, pretty easily, eat well, go out and do like cool adventures, take trips out to the rest of the country. It's quite cheap to get a bus to anywhere else in the country. So, you know, on that kind of salary, you can live a really cool lifestyle here. Not a huge amount to do in terms of activities and stuff. It's not the most developed country. Thailand, in contrast, is a lot more developed, but it is a very, very beautiful place, and I could totally, after spending a little time here, see myself staying, especially being able to visit the beautiful countryside quite easily. Not a bad place whatsoever. So I hope this was helpful to you. Stay tuned for more videos. I'm probably going across to Vietnam very soon, and the teaching scene there is pretty great. So stay tuned for videos on that and more videos about teaching English all over Asia. Shoot me any questions if you want to know more about it, and if you want to get hooked up with a job, I have some contacts, so just let me know, and I'll speak to you very soon.